My name is Kevin Vogt. I'm the Director of Sacred Liturgy, Music, and Art here at St. Michael the Archangel Parish. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you, especially those who are here for the first time, perhaps. I see some of our parishioners here. I'm so glad that you came tonight as well. And I'm glad that you're here to help me welcome all of our guests. This is the second in our series of Doxa Conversations at the Crossroads of worship, culture, and art. Now, if you are not of our faith tradition, let me assure you that my thinking, at least, about these ideas of worship, culture, and art are pretty broad and pretty expansive. The word worship simply means to ascribe worth, ultimate worth. And the way that communities of humans in every tradition, every culture around the globe ascribe ultimate worth to things or persons is to celebrate in community with each other. And these communal celebrations are actually what create community. So, since the fall, if you will, humanity's been destined to toil for our daily bread. But toiling for a secondary end, as if we're some kind of cog in a machine or something, is not our destiny as human beings. We are destined for leisure in the fullest sense, not leisure in terms of inactivity, but rather life, a fullness of life that's worthy and valuable in and of itself, and not simply for the service of some other secondary purpose. And when we're living in that reality of leisure, in that sense, we are at worship. And so that kind of cultic or worship activity of human communities then creates and embodies the set of values that we share. And we're all here tonight because we must share at least some values, some if not beliefs, but some values. And those shared values and beliefs are culture. An issue out of that culture then is what we do and what we make as human beings, the art. So worship, culture, art are phenomena that happen in human communities and for human beings. In fact, this is the only way human beings can live, being social animals. T.S. Eliot said, "What life have you if you have not life together? There is no life that is not in community." And he goes further to say, there is no community not lived in praise of God. Even if it's unconscious, it's still life in community then simply, it does ascribe worth to that which is ultimate. And so that's what we're here to explore tonight, and in all the nights when we have this series of presentations. Tonight it's a very specific kind of exploration, and it has to do with an experience that our society and really the global human family is experiencing, and that is human trafficking and exploitation. Earlier this year, Pope Francis called human trafficking a crime against humanity. The selling and enslavement of human beings, especially women and children, is closer to home than we might imagine. I know you've seen things on the news. We don't have to necessarily go from here to northeast Kansas City to see it happening. We can see it just a few blocks away at a Quick Trip or some other crossroads here. And we'll hear more about some of these statistics in the presentation. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, has said that we are to combat this exploitation and humiliation. And to do that, the human stories must be told and brought into the light. Glass sculptor Hasna Sall takes on the mantle of a visual raconteur, telling the story of a local woman's journey out of darkness and into the light in actually a completed work, a gallery work that we're going to see unveiled tonight, and also a proposal for a public installation as well. And this this proposed public installation is centered on Kansas City's Lycans Square Park, which is the locus of an inspiring community revitalization project involving a remarkable array of partnerships and collaborations. We have several people here tonight representing various of those agencies, and I'd like to invite Greg Lombardi to say a few words about the Lycans project. As an attorney, Greg has been instrumental in our community of doing quiet title work, researching and finding and paving the way to recovering titles for homes in blighted areas that makes it possible for other agencies then to come in and get loans from banks and to revitalize neighborhoods and all that. So Greg's a very visionary leader. He's also the executive director of the Lycans Neighborhood Association. So would you please join me in welcoming Greg Lombardi.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to start off by asking how many of you know where Lycans is? So we have at least 4 people, which that's a good start. So Lycans is a proud and humble community that is 2.5 miles directly east of downtown. Does anybody know where the Elmwood Cemetery is? Okay, so, but Elmwood is in Lycans. If you go on I-70, there's what's called the Benton Curve. I-70 turns south. Anybody familiar with that? Okay, so we got some nodding of heads here. So immediately to the northeast of that is the Lycans neighborhood. And so the north boundary is Independence Avenue, Benton is the west, Hardesty about a mile east of Benton is the eastern boundary, and Truman Road is the southern boundary. And I've been working in the Lycans neighborhood for the last 2 years on a neat community development project, and I'm very excited that Hasna is bringing her art to the project because it's very emblematic of the project. Lycans for a long time has been a challenged neighborhood. Right now it is one of the highest crime neighborhoods in Kansas City, but it is a neighborhood of great spirit and great potential. There's a wonderfully diverse group of people who lives there. It's about 50% Hispanic. There's a large refugee population there. The elementary school, there are 19 languages spoken at the elementary school. There's one kindergarten class where every single child in the class speaks a different language. And so, as you can imagine, it's a place of a lot of challenges, but also we see it as a place of great potential. And the project that I've been working on with a bunch of wonderful partners, including Habitat for Humanity with Jude Huntz, who's here tonight, and with Catholic Charities and a bunch of other wonderful groups, is a project to focus resources on a really small area of Lycans. It's a 9-block area. The neighborhood association has worked with urban planners and with rehabbers and with builders to select this 9-block area as having the greatest potential in the neighborhood for development. We've developed building standards for the neighborhood, for the focus area. We've recruited rehabbers and builders for the focus area. The rehabbers and builders to participate have to enter into an agreement with the neighborhood association to comply with the building standards and to build good quality or rehab to good quality standards. And so as of now, in 2020, we will probably have 15 units at a minimum rehab in this 9-block focus area. Habitat for Humanity will be building 3 houses in the focus area. Catholic Charities will be building 3 houses in the focus area. We'll be building a neighborhood association office. We also, if we're going to hit it out of the park, we're teaming up with a developer who is working on what's called the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Project that is just on the edge of this focus area, where we're taking an old school and turning into senior housing. So that would be 40 units of senior housing that would be built in 2021 if that project goes forward. The project has been so successful now that we have rehabbers bidding against each other to rehab blighted properties in the focus area. And it's a strange thing to have happen, but we have run out of blighted properties in the focus area. So we've actually had to expand the focus area. And to this, Hasna brings artwork that is very emblematic of the struggles in the neighborhood and of the problems that many people in the neighborhood face. Drug use and human trafficking are still major problems in the neighborhood. If you go down Independence Avenue on any day where the temperature is over 40 degrees, it's amazing, but there are prostitutes out on just a regular basis. And at the same time, the hope that Hasna's artwork embodies is a hope that is felt very much in the neighborhood as well, that it is a time of transition, a time of revival in the neighborhood. So we're excited to work with Hasna, and we're excited to see her artwork in the park, and we're amazed and tremendously impressed with her fundraising work that can and will actually make it happen. Anyway, with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Jude from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, Greg. So, as Greg mentioned, we are one of the many agencies that are involved in the Likens Neighborhood Revitalization Project. We currently have acquired 6 properties, and we'll start 3 this year and 3 next year, and hopefully acquire more as the concentric circle around the park expands as time goes on. But we were really very excited about this particular project because it's exactly what Habitat has been doing for 40 years. Those of you who may remember the Ivanhoe neighborhood 15 or 20 years ago and how blighted that neighborhood was. And we and a few other agencies built many, many homes there, and now that neighborhood has turned around and it's a much improved city asset now rather than a liability. So this is the kind of projects we like to be involved in. So as we got involved in these meetings with Greg and these other partners, I got to meet Hasna, and she had this vision for this art project, and she is a brilliant artist who said, I need to raise money for this. And so I said, well, Habitat will help you do that. We don't know how to make art, we just know how to make houses. But we will, so we've been working with her, and if anybody's interested in supporting this project, I've got some materials on the back table there, and feel free to see me afterwards to talk more about that. And as the universe would have it, not only did I didn't really need much more encouragement to be involved with Hasna, but when my dear friend Kevin Vogt got involved, I could not say no, because I've known Kevin forever, and Kevin has a way with Catholic guilt that is second to none. And so, so hopefully he will touch your hearts, and it's been I've been given the privilege of introducing Hasna to share her vision with us about her art, and so please welcome Hasna Sam.